Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about Blender again. It's another Blender video, but it's not a tutorial, but it's a video on Blender. And I know that a lot of you are here because of the Krita tutorials I do. So if you're here for the Krita, go to the link in the description. There's a free class for you that is 4 hours, and you can get that free class. You can get that free class up until the 15th of September. Stop thinking my hair would be nice. You can get that class up until 15th of September. It's already almost September. But after that, you will not get the class for free. And while you're there, if you want to review the class, that would be nice, because you show the other people who want to take the class that is good or bad. It's up to you, actually. Anyway, that out of the way, let's talk about Blender, and let's just go through my mistakes that I made, and maybe you may learn something from them. So let's just jump right in there. First things first, I think, is a very crucial question that you need to ask yourself, and the question is, why do you want to learn Blender? It's a very simple question. The answer can vary. For me, I want to learn Blender because it's a 3D program and I have very small experience with 3D programs. And two, which is the main reason why I'm doing it, is because I want to make stylized characters and I want to make animations with those stylized characters. Nice, I know. Am I getting any closer to this to this goal? I think I am with every tutorial I watch and I do, or with every project that I come up with and I try to make, and then I try to make a tutorial out of it. It's a good experience. I think I'm getting closer and closer. Can I do it by the end of this year? I mean, if you think about it, time flies. I mean, it's already September, almost. Like, what? What happened with all this time? It went very fast for me. I don't know. But other than that, we'll see how it goes. It's good to have goals, but you shouldn't like have a rigid sort of thinking that everything needs to happen in a certain way, because you kind of you're signing yourself to failure in some shape or form. So that's important to keep track of. I mean, one of the reasons why you want to learn Blender is because it's free, right? Now, other people will say, but it's not industry standard. But the thing is, not everything that looks good on paper is good, right? It's not every book where you see the amazing cover that I don't know what an amazing cover is for you. But when you open it, then you see it's shit inside. You're like, oh, you get where I'm going with this. Because a lot of people say that, oh, Blender is not a standard, oh, Blender this, it's not. But Blender has a lot of functions that if you have never touched a 3D program, and if you try to learn specifically Blender, later on, you can switch very easily between the other 3D programs. Like, let's say my industry one, standard one, and you have Cinema 4D, and so on and so on. It's just easier to make that transition, even though technically, oh, it's a free product, so it must be not that great and blah, blah. But well, the past 5 years, we have seen free programs doing amazing stuff. So don't always look what's good on paper. I think that's a good takeaway from this. Now, Blender. When you start learning Blender, oh boy, my main advice, even though I technically hate giving people advices, when you start listening to people's advices, you kind of fall into the trap of what other people think about you, and then you try to keep up with that. Don't do that, okay? Listen to the advices, sure, but it's up to you how you're gonna handle this, right? Right now, I'm gonna say the best thing, the way you can learn Blender, at least for me, from my experience, is learn the shortcuts. Other people may tell you something else, but I think we all can agree that you have to be able to move around Blender freely. You have to be confident. You don't have to know all of the shortcuts because they are a lot. But let's say you start following a tutorial and the person says, do X, Y, and Z, and you don't know what the heck that means. And you start getting frustrated, and before you know it, you already dropped the tutorial and you didn't make any progress whatsoever. So yeah, learn the basics, learn how to move around Blender, move the cube if you want to, try to cut the cube in half, try to do stuff with the basic cube in half, try to play around with the other shapes, and try to get used to it. Like, imagine it if you're learning how to drive a car. I guess you're like, I don't know how to drive a car. Still, I'm ashamed of that fact. I'm sorry. Maybe that's not a good example. Shit. But you know there's 3 pedals. You know there's stick, and you know there's a wheel. And ideally, you should know what all the 3 pedals do, and the stick, and the wheel. So that's how you learn Blender. Learn the basics. Great. That's one. The second advice I would advise you is try to follow as many tutorials. There are a lot of tutorials. Most of them are, not most of them, but some of them are on a older version of Blender, and you will probably have the newest one, and not every single button or function will be in the exact same place as the tutorial that you're watching. That's very likely to happen. So once you start trying to follow as many tutorials, you will find the people that you are able to follow along. Not everyone has the perfect tutorial, that's true. And I'm gonna leave a couple of links of tutorials that I follow. Hopefully you will find them useful. If you want, click on them. If you don't, you don't. Some of them are very stylized, others are very not stylized. It really, I guess that kind of boils down to the point what exactly you want to do in Blender. If you want to do realistic stuff, obviously look for realistic sculpting and modeling. Same thing, I know. But you know, and then that's how you go. And eventually you will find specific tutors, specific YouTubers that they do the exact thing that you want to do, so you can gain the knowledge from them. And that's why you should probably try to do as many tutorials as possible. Once you do that, you get to the next stage where you will want to do your own projects. And that's when finally, you get to the point you will I keep telling you you get to the point where you will start to learn Blender for real. Yeah, that's when you're gonna make as many mistakes as possible. You will run into problems, and you, not the tutorial guy or the tutorial girl, not whoever, you will have to find the answers. You have to problem solve the stuff that arise in your project, because that's the only way you can learn any problem for that matter. When you try to do something for yourself, when you try to do a project for yourself, you will run into different sort of problems, but they will teach you way more than blindly following a tutorial by a random person on the internet. That's when your actual Blender journey will start, and that's when you will start making stuff that ideally you'll be proud of. Because at the end of the day, if you're not liking something and you're just doing it so the people can see, what's the point of doing it? It's just, if you don't have that inside, it's not an instant gratitude, but it's a good feeling to have, to be like, you know what, I'm proud of this marshmallow I made. I made it, and it's mine, and I like it. Maybe it's ugly by your understandings, but I see the value, and I did the sweat and the work that you may not see. Usually that happens with any artist out there. You see the pretty picture, that's easy to do, but you don't see the work that's put behind that. My battery is dying. Yay. Anyway, that will be all from me today. Before this dies, I'm gonna say goodbye. I'm gonna see you in the next one. Hopefully that will be in oh my god, no, in September, not December. And stay healthy, and I hope this video was helpful. Make sure you check the Krita link, and make sure you check the other links, and have a great, wonderful day, evening, morning. Bye.